Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Todd Bowen from sittingposture.com. Welcome to episode 5 of my series, Computer Posture Mistakes and Fixes. I want to thank you guys for joining me real quick. I do value your time. I promise I will make it as worthwhile as possible. Computer posture can be a very painful and boring topic. I try to create content that is free of cost, open-minded, relatable, and easily actionable. Quick note, the info in this presentation is not medical advice. It's based off my experience and my opinions. I talk about good habits that have helped me live a higher quality, sedentary lifestyle. Do your research, make good decisions, and be the best possible advocate you can be for your own healthcare. The specific goals of my channel are to help the user decrease pain caused by sitting at a computer. That's always going to be my main goal. Increase energy, improve mental clarity, and also increase work productivity. These other three pretty much go hand in hand with that first one. Once we decrease that pain, our energy goes up, we think more clearly, and we're getting more work done. A quick note about me, my name is Todd Bowen. I've got an information technology degree, so I've taken classes like user experience, workstation ergonomics, things like that. Lifelong athlete and exerciser, and 20 plus years of a sedentary lifestyle I've been living. Here's a quick look at my website, sittingposture.com. If you want to, you can go there and download a free computer posture checklist. This one is just sitting, doesn't talk about standing. It's a PDF form. Just go there and download it for free. You can also sign up for weekly email updates of any articles that I write and any YouTube videos that I post. I just send out one email a week. I don't spam. It's usually on Fridays. And you can unsubscribe whenever you like just by a click of a couple buttons in each email. So just go there to sittingposture.com and enter your email address here and get updates. Computer posture mistakes and fixes, episode 5. Before we get started, one last note. I'm not compensated by any product sellers or manufacturers. There's no paid promotion in this video. So if I mention something that I like or something that's helped me, I paid my own money for it. I'm not compensated by the manufacturer of it. I'm not compensated in any way. So a quick note here, you'll see me use this image a lot. This is a great image here. First, let's talk about the one thing that this image has got correct. His elbows are just above desk height, just above his keyboard. So that's a good position for the elbows, even though he's leaning forward. You see this inflammation in his spine here. So his head is way in front of his upper body. It's okay to be just a little bit slightly in front of the chest. The mouth and the nose area maybe a little bit in front of the chest, but not, he's almost got his ears past his chest. So that's definitely going to lead to some issues, as you can see here. Forward slouching, also known as kyphosis, the upper spine in the thoracic area and into the cervical spine also leans forward. And what that does is that compresses the disc on the front of the spine, and it extends the disc on the back of the spine. So that's the main thing that causes the pain. It's pulling at those discs. He's not sitting all the way back in his chair. This foot is flat on the floor, so that's decent. This foot is not in a good position at all. And this doesn't look like a very big deal, but I used to sit like this all the time, and it led to tons of ankle dysfunction, which led to knee dysfunction. And of course, all the muscles connected in between the two. You've got the calf muscles on the back of the lower leg. You've got the tibialis on the front of the lower leg. It also caused some shin splints for me. So what was happening is I had all this tension in the posterior side of my legs. So I became hamstring dominant as well as heel dominant when I would run and play basketball and stuff like that. I was always landing on my heel, which caused shin splints, and those are tough to get rid of. That takes a lot of work and commitment. Best way to do it is to do a lot of calf strengthening exercises, a lot of forefoot exercises. You want to increase the time that we're on our forefeet, or also known as the balls of the feet. Basically every part of the foot except for the back part, except for the heel. So here's a correct version. I know this looks like this cannot be maintained for a long period of time because it's just too perfect, but keep in mind that no position is good, whether it's good posture or bad posture. No position is good to be held for long periods of time, especially 8 hours a day, 40 hours a week. That's why it's important to work in multiple positions throughout the day, sitting for a little bit, standing for a little bit, sitting on a stool for a little bit. Maybe if you're lucky enough to work from home, work in a recliner on a laptop for a little bit. We'll talk about all those positions later, but it's important to understand that even with good posture like this, the head over the upper body, elbows just above the typing area, lower back lumbar curve is intact, using the back support. I would lower this chair just a little bit. It looks like it's a little bit high. But both feet flat on the floor. That's a key right there. So, and to our first image here, looks like she's got some lower back pain. I know these people are just models, but they're great examples of posture, of what to do right and what to do wrong. So she looks like she's got some lower back pain here, probably due to her overextending and twisting this way to type on her computer. So she's extending everything over here and compressing this over here just because her computer is turned. And not to mention, just because her laptop is there near her hand, that doesn't mean her keys are there. She's got another 8 inches to go to get to those number keys. You know what I mean? So that's a lot of extension of the arms, and what that does, when you have to extend that forward to type, it's going to create a lot of issues up in the neck, rear shoulders, all through the traps, all kinds of problems when you have to reach forward like that. So what I would do is I would take this laptop, center it. I would get an external keyboard right here, external mouse right there, and also an external monitor right there. I talk about external monitors all the time. I can't express that, how important that is, because her eye level right now, she's looking down almost at a 45-degree angle to see her screen. Pretty much is a 45-degree angle. We want to make sure that monitor, the top of her monitor, is eye level right there. So this guy here, look, he's got the great monitor. He's got a monitor. If he would sit back, it's probably at eye level, so he's doing that right. This is the exact external keyboard that I was talking about. Very cool. You can tell he's just a model because he doesn't even have a mouse. But anyway, external mouse would be nice right there. And I would pull this back a little bit. I would pull the monitor closer to him also. That's probably why he leans forward, is he's tending to, the more we get stressed, the more we lean forward we push our keyboard forward. The monitor's already too far back. So what I would do is I would bring this keyboard to the edge of the desk. I would bring this monitor a little bit closer. I would sit back in that chair, and I would probably raise the chair a little bit. It's hard to tell, but you can see how the elbow's here. He has to lift his arm at an angle to get his elbow on the desk. So his chair's probably a little bit low, but it's tough to tell from this position here. Here's another one, very similar. External keyboard's great, monitor's great. I don't like the angle that monitor is at. That's probably why she's in that position like that. It's very cool to have a secondary. It looks like she's got a tablet here, or maybe that's her laptop. Yeah, it's a laptop. So it's very cool to have a secondary screen there that she's not going to use often, as long as this is her primary screen. All this takes to get this external monitor hooked up to a laptop is one inexpensive HDMI cable. You can get them for like 15 or 20 bucks, something like that. Just plug one end into the laptop and one end to the monitor. It's that simple. And then plug the monitor into the wall. It's that simple. So what I would do is I would change the angle of this monitor. It doesn't have to be straight up and down, but it has to be more straighter than that. And I would bring it closer to her, bring the keyboard closer to the end of the table. The external mouse, I don't like how this mouse is bulky. It's kind of high up in the air. I used to get bad carpal tunnel syndrome, and I've learned that it didn't really happen from the act of typing, contrary to a lot of belief. What it happened to, the reason it was caused in my case is I had a big bulky mouse like this, and I had a bulky keyboard, so I had to engage my wrist muscles to pull my hands backwards to lift my fingers on the keyboard and the mouse. So engaging my wrist backwards is what caused the carpal tunnel syndrome in my wrist, because I switched to a monitor, to an external keyboard just like this, and a flatter mouse, not like this, but a flatter mouse. And my carpal tunnel went away within days once I started using those flatter devices. It was pretty eye-opening. So I would, like I said, we'll recap real quick. I would make her monitor less of an angle. I would bring it closer. I'd bring the external keyboard closer. I'd bring the mouse closer. I'd also get a flatter mouse, because these things do make a difference. And that may be, it's probably, if she sits back, her elbows are probably going to drop down a little bit, so I would get a better chair or a chair that raises up and down. But she does have a lot of things good going for her. The good external keyboard and the good external monitor. Here's another one. She's working at an angle. She's got her laptop over here. She's got a secondary screen over here on the monitor, but they're both at an angle. She's looking to her left to do this. She's looking at her right to do that. I would have her main work, which I'm assuming is her keyboard and her mouse, directly in front of her. And I would pull it closer to her as well. Mainly, the two things that would solve a lot of our problems slouching forward is bringing that monitor closer and bringing it up higher. It looks like it's almost at her eye level, but if the monitor's far away and the monitor's too low, that tends us, human nature, we tend to lean forward and we don't even realize that we're doing a bad thing until it's 2 years later and we've done it 40 hours a week. And that equals out, if we have a full-time job, 2,000 hours a year. So here's, now that she's got a good flat mouse, I like that. I'm not sure what brand that is, but I do like how flat that is. She doesn't have an external monitor, which would probably help out back here. It would definitely help out. She doesn't have an external keyboard, is what I meant to say, which would probably help out because it looks like, obviously, she's looking down. Not to mention her elbows are, you can see how her shoulders are hunched up around her ears in order to get her elbows on that table. So that tells you right there that her chair is too low, and it's going to cause a lot of stress up here in the traps, shoulder, neck, and upper back area. Here's an interesting one. I've never used a chair like this, but I don't think I want to be honest. This is not speaking from experience. I do want to mention that I haven't tried this chair, but I really don't like the position of the knee. These chairs are designed, from what I understand, to make the person sit up straighter more easily, and I get that, but I just don't like this knee position. It's way too not overextended, but the opposite of overextended. It's bent into a position that's just not natural. And it's one thing to get in that position to jump or to do a squat or even kneel down for a few seconds. Catchers in baseball do this all the time, but they stand back up. The thing about holding your knee in this position for a long time is going to create a lot of knee dysfunction. It's going to extend the muscles and tendons on the front part of the kneecap to the quad. And it's going to compress the hamstring, compress the calf, compress all the tendons on the back of the knee. It's going to create a lot of confusion between the back and the front of the knee. I also don't like the feet. I mean, they're kind of 90-degree angle to the lower leg, but I still don't like it because he's got his toes on the ground only. Yeah, keep in mind, not speaking from experience, I haven't sat in one of these chairs. I've never tried it, but I definitely, I don't really want to try it, to be honest. But he is sitting up straight. I will give him that. His elbows are outside of they're out to the side a little bit. They're not pulled into his body. And what that's going to do is going to cause a lot of tension up in here. It takes muscles to flare your elbows out like that. And to hold them out like that for a long time could cause a lot of damage like it did in my case. So I would say this chair does need to be a little bit higher. And of course, working from, that looks like a small tablet with a keyboard, that's going to cause a lot of trouble up here. No matter how straight he's sitting up here, he's got some stuff going on in the back of his neck, in the cervical spine, and maybe in the thoracic also, even though it looks like he's straight, to look down at an angle like that. Keep in mind, he's not just looking at the top of his monitor, he's looking all the way down to his monitor. That's more than a 45-degree angle right there. Could be solved easily with an external monitor. It doesn't have to be anything great. It just has to be taller and bigger. I think I paid $150 for mine. And like I said, HDMI cable from one device to the monitor, $15 or $20, something like that. Here's another situation where two external monitors would come in great handy. His eye level is not terrible, but it's one thing to work on a laptop for a little bit, 15, 20 minutes, even an hour or two at a time. But 8 hours a day is where we really get into trouble holding for long periods of time. Looking down, you can see that's causing some compression in the front of his neck and his chest and some overextension in the back. She's got an interesting stance. Not necessarily compression, but I mean, you can just tell the way her face her eye level is looking straight forward, so you can just tell that she's straining her eyes to look down there. She may not be straining her neck like this guy is, but that's got to be some eye strain right there. So anyway, external monitors, $150 a piece is a basic cost, $20 HDMI cable. Her feet are flat on the floor, which looks good. She's taking advantage of the back support. So is he. His feet are flat on the floor. His knees are bent a little bit much, even though his feet are still flat on the floor. Same thing here. This is actually, this is the same guy here. So his feet are not in a good position here. His elbows are in a good position. So this seat he's using is high enough. The only thing is, if you got to bend your knees like that to bring your feet back, I get it. It's a decent little stretch. It's a nice quad stretch. Stretches out your probably your calf too. But I would not hold that position for a long time because I did that for many years, and it caused a lot of ankle dysfunction, which led to knee dysfunction, tendonitis, pain, overextension of all the tendons on the front of the knee, going from the kneecap to the quad, as well as compression and shortening of all the tendons in the back of the knee, going into the hamstring and the calf. I became hamstring dominant from sitting like this with my feet not flat on the floor, just like he's got them. Came hamstring dominant, and then I became a heel striker, which caused shin splints and just caused all kinds of dysfunction in my knee and my ankle. This guy here has got his feet flat on the floor. Looks good. Looks like his legs are almost at a 45-degree angle. They're normally better at a lower, almost parallel to the floor, not quite, but he's got his elbows in a good position. I will say that. He's a really tall guy, so it's going to be a little bit awkward sometimes. They've got these great standing desks, so I'm sure that sometimes they stand, but again, the external monitor here would come in handy, especially when they're standing, because it's just so easy to put one on the table there, especially if they've invested in these desks. These desks are not $150. Whoever makes these are a lot more expensive. So if they're going to invest in a desk like this, they should invest in an external monitor for their employees. That would be a big energy saver and pain saver. So let's check this out real quick. So we'll talk about what's wrong. Kyphosis in the upper spine. Head is way in front of the upper body. Again, like the first image we talked about, the ears are at the chest. Look over here, you see the nose and the mouth and the eyes are at the chest. So it's much better position here. It's a little bit to the front of the torso, which is understandable, but not all the way in front of the torso like this one. What that does is it will eventually cause spinal disc degeneration, which I learned that I had. That's one of the turning points in getting me to look into my posture years ago and take full accountability of it and improve it. He does have his legs 45-degree angle to the floor, which is good. He's not taking advantage of the back support. This guy is taking advantage of the back support. Also has his legs, hips are a little higher over here. You can see how that's not quite a 45-degree angle. So that's pretty good. And the reason his hips are a little bit lower right here might be causing him to bend his knees to touch the floor. So if he lifted up a little bit, that would allow him to bring his lower leg straight down like this guy's got it. And this right here is a much healthier position to sit in for long periods of time compared to this right here. Both of them got their eye level decent. Eye level looking at the top of the monitor. And one last one to look at. I like this picture right here because this easily talks about my three favorite variables in good computer posture. Eye level close to the top of the monitor, elbows above the keyboard, just above the keyboard, slightly above the desk, whatever the typing surface is, and also feet flat on the floor. So eye level at the top of the monitor, elbows just above the typing surface, and the feet flat on the floor. Those are the three most important variables. There are many other variables. If you want to check more variables out, go to sittingposture.com/checklist. So thanks for watching, guys. If you've made it this far, congratulations. You're taking a big step forward in improving the quality of your life. Sign up for free email updates like I mentioned in the beginning of this video. Sittingposture.com/newsletter. I send out one email per week. I don't spam. It's usually on Fridays, and what I'll do is I write one article a week for my website, and then I usually post 2 YouTube videos on Sundays and Wednesdays. So what I'll do once a week on Fridays is I'll have links to that article as well as those 2 YouTube videos. And this is super easy to unsubscribe if you're not interested anymore. Just scroll to the bottom of any of my emails, click a couple buttons, and you'll never get another email from me again. So here's the computer posture checklist. If you want to download that, I just mentioned the 3 most important variables for good computer posture. This one has 14 variables. Sittingposture.com/checklist. It's a PDF that's downloadable, and it's free, and you can post it. You can print it out and post it easily at your desk as a consistent reminder to check in with your posture and remind you of easy cues to use to have good posture. And finally, last but not least, subscribe to my YouTube channel if you like, youtube.com/@sittingposture. Make sure to put the ad in there if you want to get to the channel. That'll take you directly to my channel. And all of my content is free, and it always will be. So I do want to mention, the more people that see my videos, the more ability I have to make more content. With that said, it would help me out a ton if you found this video helpful. Please hit the like button and subscribe to my YouTube channel if you'd like to get my YouTube videos in your feed more often. And finally, feel free to forward this video to a friend or a family member who sits at a computer full-time. That's like the ultimate compliment. To if something helped you out that I created and you send it to someone else that you know and care about, sending it to them is like the ultimate compliment. So I appreciate you guys for watching and all your time and energy. Thanks, that's it. Look forward to seeing you guys on the next video. Take care.